Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs postgame show podcast, and it's a Cubs sweep over the Houston Astros. Cubs win 3-1, comeback fashion. Pete Crow-Armstrong, first hit, first home run, and the Cubs are now 16-9 on the season as they hit the road to take on the Red Sox next. Luke Stuckmeyer, Cody Del Mendo, Ryan Herrera, hopefully joining us from beautiful historic Wrigley Field. Joey's running the ones and twos before he runs the ones and twos for the highly anticipated Bears draft party. Sold out. Joe's on Weed Street today.
Credit to him for doing two shows, but the most important show. This is the most important show.
I will not be running the ones and twos for the Bears
You'll
draft
be doing
party.
graphics. Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story.
But
we party here, then we go party there.
This is the most important show of the day, though, in my own biased opinion.
Where were you the day Caleb Williams was drafted on the same day that Pete Crow-Armstrong
hit his first
career home run?
And first career hit.
Which will be more important to you in 10 years? I'll be honest with you. I hope it's Caleb Williams.
To be honest with you, I hope it's Caleb Williams too.
Yeah,
because the thing is that
no offense,
that means so much more for the Bears than PCA. But listen, PCA, that was an incredible moment. Him hitting that home run. You called it. Well, I did kind of call it. Like, we were on the couch.
You put it into the universe.
What happened was, and everyone, if you were paying close attention at the time, Astros bring in a new pitcher, Abreu, and he airmails the first pitch he throws. This doesn't go anywhere near the catcher. It just goes all the way to the backstop. And I believe whoever is on first, I want to say it was Amaya, is on first. He moves up to second on the play. Very next pitch. Right before he threw it, I was like, all right, that was a really bad pitch. Maybe he just tries to groove one to get back on track here to PCA, and he takes advantage. And what does he do? He hits a go-ahead two-run shot. Oh, brother. And the ball, you could feel the electricity at beautiful, historic Wrigley Field in the moment. My God, that was a moment we will remember for a long time. People remember when Morel hit his first career homer. People remember when Wilson Contreras hit his.
It was Morel-esque, the energy, right?
Yeah, and again, it was his first career hit, first career homer all at the same time. Like that's why I said Morel. That's why I said Wilson Contreras. People are going to remember that for a long time. And it was the go-ahead hit to sweep the Astros. I don't care how bad they've been. We all believe that they will eventually be better. Who knows? I don't know. All I know is that sweeping the Astros at home is chef's kiss, man.
Series at home that you have won against the Astros and Dodgers.
Yeah.
Take that.
16-9?
Take that with all the guys that are hurt so far early in the season, big players. Edward says, beer bat chug, beer bat chug, beer bat chug. Oh, it's coming.
It's coming here.
It's coming.
Filling her up right now.
Joey, we got a couple super chats. Let's hit those while the beer gets poured here. The Blue Moon going to be poured into the beer bat, and then we'll get the dedication, etc. Foreign Empire wants 2 beer bats from Cody for $2.
I did 2 yesterday.
He did do 2 last night. Bear Forever 14 says, for $10, great way to start this day. Cubs sweep, and tonight the Bears draft a pair of Hall of Famers on their way to 5 Super Bowls. Bear down, fly the W, play the song.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hashtag vibe with us.
Hell yeah. And on a day that I fought the ground after I
Cody
tripped.
wiped out. Sidewalk came up and grabbed him.
We're all taking injuries. This team's taking injuries. I'm taking injuries, but they're 16-9, man. They're 16-9. I tweeted, I do every time they win, I tweet the video with the score, and the caption today was, dude, do not let me fall for this team this early. Do not let me do it.
I'm not going to say who it was. Somebody in our Slack channel here at work asked, are the Cubs going to win the World Series? It's a little bit early.
Do not let me talk myself into and the reason I said that is because they're just doing things that don't make sense.
Not with the guys that are out there playing this.
You swept the Astros, and Nick Madrigal batted 6th for you today. Okay? What? What?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly thought after about 6 innings, I was like, we're gonna, they're gonna come close to winning this game, but missed opportunities early in the game. offensively, But then, again, PCA, he took advantage of the opportunity. That's what I said last night. This team's got these young guys that got to take advantage of the opportunity. PCA did that today. So that's what this beer bat check is going to.
Dexter Fowler bet against him.
He did.
On the broadcast.
On the broadcast, Dexter Fowler did bet against them.
Said, prove me wrong.
He said, prove me wrong. And
PCA said, hold my beer. Hold my blue moon.
Hold my blue moon, brother.
All right, here comes the dedicate.
Right.
Do we have any predictions? Anybody want to guess at how Cody's going to do? Now, we've established everyone except for your first chug last night.
Yeah.
Every Blue Moon beer bat chug this season has been under 12 seconds. 12 or under.
And also the account the guy who runs that account, Cody Beer Bats, he decided to remove the first one from the season average because I did
throw out the worst one ever. Now,
credit to him.
And what did he decide was a quality 10.25?
10.25, yeah.
10.25 is a quality chug. Sanders says it's going to be 9 something. Matthews going 9.8. Deepart says 10.2. Gerard 9.5. Here we go. Here we go. Give us the
PCA,
dedication.
guys. PCA,
Joey, you're the official
out,
clock on this.
You ready?
Hold on. Joey's got to get ready. 10.4 from Brennan. Vanilla Chill, 10.38.
All right.
The YouTube chat is lit, as the kids.
Should we be unified here? Do you want me to click it when you say go?
I'll say go, and you hit the button.
Okay.
All right.
And then you stop it when you say it's done.
I stop it?
You're doing the whole clock.
Okay.
I'm not clocking anymore. We have one clock.
I'll do the clock.
All right.
When it hits his lips.
When it hits his lips, it starts.
There you go.
Del Mendo going through this beer bat. I don't believe he even did a full dedication.
He's got to get vertical.
He wanted to get right to the chug.
He's
right to the
vertical.
chug. Del Mendo is done.
10.74.
10.74. Almost a quality chug.
He's got to get vertical. We'll work on that throughout the season.
Tilt. Well,
I'm thinking about showing Cody, maybe taking like a video, and we can go back in the StatCast and look at some of his,
I got to tip it more.
Yeah,
listen,
exactly. Look at his
no. He did it just right. That was PTSD right there. What happened to him was he got to the end and thought, I'm going to do this. And what he did last night was he tilted it up, and he had a tidal wave splash into his face. It was all over his pants.
We're going to iron out the kinks of the beer bat. No worries.
Everett says, way to go, Cubbies.
Anyway.
Very nicely done.
Much,
it may not qualify as a quality chug, but it keeps you under 12. DFW Susie says, let the gravity work for you. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Shout out to our new diehards, by the way, Phil, Bernard, and Michael. Best way to enjoy us, of course, subscribing to the CHGO Sports YouTube page. You won't miss any of the shows. You get to join the live vibes after each game. And then, of course, you want to be a diehard, too, so that you have the diehard card for events like tonight.
Yeah.
The big draft party, sold out, Joe's on Weed. Last year we were the front room at Joe's on Weed Street.
We got a stage tonight.
This is the stage. This is where the country music stars come in and play.
Yeah.
Instead, you're going to have Hogan, Carmen, and Braggs up there instead of Hootie and the Blowfish. Okay?
Yeah. Should be a lot of
Randy
fun.
Rogers Band.
Should be a lot of fun, yeah. And then I think there's still tickets for tomorrow, but
there are some. If you want to go day 2, because we don't know if they're going to trade down. We don't know what's going to happen with 9 yet. Anyways, make sure you sign up to be a diehard so you get a free shirt this year. You get the diehard card, which you throw that around town, and it's just like putting respect on the table.
Yeah, I think someone in the Discord recently said that they tried to use their diehard card at the bar, and it worked. So
what you
credit to them.
What you can do with the diehard card is you don't slap it down on the table. The diehard card, you slide it across, and you just quietly say, Riz. And they know.
Don't let the facts get in the way
and
of
they
a
know
good story.
You've got Riz.
Anyway, man, Cubs sweep the Astros. I still can't believe it.
Don't you feel good for PCA, though?
Oh, yeah.
Man, I felt like
so many people were down on him this winter.
there was a lot of – maybe he didn't feel it, but there was a lot of pressure.
For sure.
No hits at the end of last season. I think the pressure and the moment did get to him a little bit. And he's made these adjustments all off season, and he wasn't off to a good start at AAA. And we said last night, listen, if he's making those adjustments and that's why he's struggling, cool. If he's still trying to do the old stuff and struggling, that's a problem.
Yeah,
First big moment he comes and he comes up and he hits that home run.
I'll say that today, I didn't feel good about him in the lineup today because Verlander made him look made him look like a rookie. Like, he looked
Early he
very
did.
overmatched
Yes,
against
he did.
Verlander.
He looked like the guy that was there last year.
Right. But again, hits the homer in that big moment to give them the lead. And then even his last at bat, at least he put the ball in play, ended up ground out to second. I don't know. I hope the home run and everything just kind of relieves some weight off the chest, because again, he had 20 plate appearances last year, didn't get a hit. Now he gets a hit in a big moment today. His confidence has to be getting back to where he wants it to be. Because on top of the fact that he struggled in September in the limited time, he was struggling in Iowa too. And I said this last night, like, I was worried about, or I didn't know what kind of expectations to have on top of being worried, because I just, he hadn't shown, the results hadn't been there in Iowa so far this year. And it's like, okay, he's in the lineup against Verlander today. So that's going to be interesting to see. And a lot of what happened is what I expected. But I hope moving forward that this is good for him. I hope that, he really kind of starts to take off a little bit. I'm not expecting him to hit a bunch of homers or anything like that, but quality at bats, battle, all that good stuff. Put the ball in play. More balls in play than strikeouts. That's what I'm optimistic for.
Casey in the live YouTube chat here at CHGO Sports says, big of me to admit I had tears for Pete Crow-Armstrong when he hit the homer. That's a fan right there.
That's a fan right there.
Listen, I felt good for him, and I heard him talking in an interview pregame on the way in with the score, and he was just saying that Craig Counsell was good. He called him in this morning and said, just relax. This isn't, you're probably going back. We don't, just focus on what makes you a good player.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it. Don't try to do too much. You're not here to be Cody Bellinger. Just
not here to be a
just
savior.
be yourself and work on the things that you've been working on.
Yeah.
And maybe that was something he reminded himself of after a future Hall of Famer left the game. Not easy to face Justin Verlander. Verlander, by the way, still getting it done at 41. Was striking guys out left and right. There were opportunities, but striking guys out left and right. But on the other side, Javier Assad, pay attention now. I know he's not going 7 innings, but that is all 5 starts he's made this year, Assad. All 5 starts, 2 runs or less.
And that's all
you want
can
anything
ask
more
for.
than that?
Yeah, that's
from
all,
any pitcher.
Right. That's all you can ask for someone like him.
2 runs or less in every start this season.
And our friends at Bleacher
3-0 on the season now.
Our friends at Bleacher Nation had a great tweet after he came out of the game. He allowed 1 hit with an exit velocity of over 100 miles per hour, and it was the second batter he faced, which was, I believe, Alex Bregman with an opposite field hit. Like, the most trouble he really was in all day was the first inning, where
the first 2 batters, I was like, oh, this is trouble.
Right. And the first batter, if anyone remembers, it was obviously Altuve at the plate. He hits like a liner up the middle. Nico decides to let it bounce, and he fields it and then throws to first. Altuve's fast. He beats it out. Perhaps you could say that maybe he should have just tried and catch the ball. I don't know. All I know is that's how the inning started, and then Bregman gets the hit. You got first and third, no outs. Assad keeps it to just 1 run on the sac fly by Alvarez. And then after that, he was pretty good the rest of the day, right? Like, but what I was saying,
I think his ERA is down to 2.
Yeah. Bleacher Nation's tweet that I was pointing out, I retweeted it from CHGO Cubs. Like, he allowed 4 hits, and I mentioned the first hit by Bregman, but the other 3 hits, they weren't hit very hard at all. The second hit was a ground ball single, 84 miles per hour. The third hit was a bloop single, 68 miles per hour.
Oh, that was terrible, yeah.
And the fourth hit was another bloop single, 57 miles per hour. So I would argue today was his best start of the season, considering the lineup he faced, even though he didn't go 6.
The Rockies one was good, 6 scoreless. Mm-hmm. But considering, the first 4, and then you get Pena at 6, I would agree. They may be struggling, but this is a way better lineup than the Rockies.
Yeah. So,
obviously.
Someone, I forgot to reply to them at the time, but someone tweeted at me and, said, Cody, I know you want him to be, you think he can be better out of the bullpen, but if Assad keeps pitching like this, you got to leave him the rotation. And it's like, listen, I don't, it's not that I care, I want one or the other. I just think that he's so versatile that you can do whatever you want with him. And I think that that's the value that he brings. Now, the whole thing with Hendricks, like, is he going to come back in 10 days or not? I don't know. We all think it's kind of a Phantom IL thing. We'll see, right? Assad has pitched
several weeks.
Assad has pitched well enough to be your 4th or 5th starter.
Oh, definitely.
Right? Like,
unquestionably.
He doesn't deserve to go back into he really doesn't deserve to go back in the bullpen. All I was saying is that I think his value can come out of the bullpen because you can use him in many different ways. However, he can make starts for you too because, again, he is versatile. So if they want to leave him in the rotation, I'm fine with it. Like, he's pitched well enough and he's deserving. Admittedly, I didn't come in today feeling great about the matchup. I don't think really a lot of people did, but I was also like, whatever. They've already won the series. Like, if the Astros pick this one up, then fine. Their ace went today. But Javier Assad looked at the matchup and said, hold my beer. He came out here and gave you his best outing of the year. I mean, again, do whatever the Cubs feel with it, I'm okay with it because I think they've read him pretty good. Would I like him to go, a little bit, have a little bit more deeper starts? Sure. But again, if he's your 4th or 5th starter, I'll take 5 innings every start, And again, the lineup he faced today
was almost
is
6.
good. It was almost
a full
6. And the only reason they didn't give him that chance to go 6 is I believe he came out and Alvarez was coming to the plate. And so lefty versus righty. So they went to Wesneski, who was awesome too.
We'll get to him in a second. Cody, you got to try a Penrose Seltzer from Penrose Brewing in Geneva, Illinois. Seltz Ups, hard seltzers with real fruit, led by Lemon Seltz Up, a national gold medal winning hard seltzer with real lemons. We created our unique twist on a lemon shake-up with a house-made hard seltzer and pureed lemons for a throwback to warm weather and country fairs. Also available is Lemon Tea-Up, a half-and-half inspired hard seltzer. Just released this year is the Transfusion Seltz Up, inspired by a popular golf cocktail with grape, ginger, and lime. Penrose is available at your local beverage retailer or visit Penrose's tap room in Geneva. For more information, go to penrosebrewing.com or follow them on social media at Penrose Brewing. Those seltz-ups are, the seltzers, beautiful. Beautiful.
I've tried them.
Refreshing. It just says summer to you.
There's a lemon one. The lemon one's really good. Highly recommend. Anyway, the Cubs go to Fenway Park this weekend. Mm-hmm. And listen, we know Cubs fans travel. We know Cubs fans are everywhere. Yes, it's not very often the Cubs go to Boston. And I've been lucky enough to go to Fenway Park. And, if you're a Cubs fan on the East Coast, there's no better way to get a ticket than using Game Time.
Go.
Got to go to Game Time right now, man. And I also know a few people. Danny Rocket's going out to Cubs Boston this weekend.
The Rocket Man, huh?
Yeah. I have a few other friends who are going to be there, too. So I'm actually kind of jealous.
Sing some songs together.
Probably. He's celebrating his 50th. Happy birthday.
Wow, that's going to be Danny. Out of control.
Anyway, Game Time. You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets for your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. All right, so hey, whether you're going to Boston to watch Cubs Red Sox this weekend, which again, to me, the Red Sox and Cubs should play every year. Because there's 2 historic franchises with 2 historic ballparks. They should play every year. And they have the last 2 years now. Or they're, this weekend will make it 2 years in a row. Excited about
schedule,
it.
Yeah.
Right? Do that. Friday 120 Club, May 3rd. Next event, May 3rd against Milwaukee. Got a few ideas about some signs.
I'll be there.
Luke will be there. Luke is going to be in the bleachers with me
I'll
and
be
Braggs.
There. I might paint my chest.
Anyway, if you want to see Luke paint his chest, get your ticket to Friday 120 Club or Cubs Brewers on May 3rd on Game Time, all right? It's the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. You see the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. All-in prices show your total up front, so you know you're getting a great deal without hidden fees. Buy tickets in seconds with 2 taps, Luke. They're obsessed with finding ways to help you save money on tickets. They have deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. It's the place to find last-minute seats. Find exclusive flash deals and sponsored deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. With zone deals, you pick the section, and Game Time picks the seats for an average of 18% savings. And the Game Time guarantee means you always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem with code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
This segment of the CHGO Cubs postgame show podcast presented by Pork Power, our Illinois pork producers. PCA provided the power with his first career hit and home run, an exit velo of 107 miles per hour in all of its glory.
Boom.
People who are active need more protein than the average American. In fact, the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, Dietitians of Canada, and the American College of Sports Medicine recommend 1.2 to 2.0 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day for athletes, depending on their training. Now, 1 3-ounce serving of pork provides 23 grams of high-quality protein that can help active individuals build and preserve muscle. The International Society of Sports Nutrition recommends that people who are involved in a general fitness program, like Cody and I, or who are interested in optimizing their health, eat low-fat, high-quality sources of protein, which include lean cuts of pork. Elevate your protein game with lean pork, a powerhouse of natural goodness. Savor the flavor, savor the gains, and celebrate any occasion by enjoying the best pork produced by Illinois pig farmers. From your sausage and bacon for breakfast to pulled pork or juicy chops hot off the grill, it's an entire season dedicated to pork and the people behind the product, paid for by the Illinois pork producers, generations of commitment. Man, oh man, is Nico Hoerner on fire. You want to talk about pork power? He's providing the power. It's not home runs, but it's hit after hit after hit.
I know, like, Brendan, his whole thing is no one loves up the middle defense and just second baseman and shortstops like Brendan Miller. However, I am starting the Nico Hoerner to the All-Star game. Like, we got to start. Do we need to make a petition or something? Like, do we need to start the riots for it? Do we need to get our picket signs out? Nico Hoerner belongs in the All-Star game. I know, like, he's got to keep doing this to earn the spot there. But I believed coming into the year that Nico Hoerner can make the All-Star team this year. And I know he started slow, but man, has he been on a tear, honestly, since they went on the road trip. I think he really started getting hot, whether it was in Seattle or Arizona. But the homestand, he's been red hot. He's been, setting the tone at the top of the lineup. Like I said in the first segment, Cubs probably should have had more than 3 runs today because Nico Hoerner and Mike Tauchman were awesome today. Nico had 3 hits. Tauchman, 3 walks and a hit?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, that's how they got, one of the ways they got Verlander out of there was patient at bats. Now, like, I know guys struck out, but you had Amaya with a 13-pitch at bat. Mm-hmm. You had Tauchman working 3 walks against Verlander, and those start to add up. So I thought some of the approaches were really, really good, and that's kind of the way Tauchman is becoming the Walkman, I said.
Yeah.
He's just patient. He's waiting for it. And sometimes
at-bats.
He's angry at the umpire, and when he is, then he hits a home run.
Yeah. Or if someone throws at him,
then he's going to hit a home run too. But yeah, I thought they were very wise to be patient at the plate and try and get Verlander out of there in his second start. And then PCA hits the home run against the reliever that comes in.
Sure.
But Assad, you can't say enough. But you also, like you mentioned, Hayden Wesneski. Man, he comes in, and the ass man started off the game right, and then Wesneski comes in. I I'd have been happy if they just let him ride it out the rest of the game. That's not the way they went, but he came in. He made a fantastic play in the field on Altuve, and he has now retired. At one point, I think it was might be now more than this, but it was 19 out of 20, I think is what JD said.
Yeah.
Faced 20 batters this season. He's retired 19 of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Look out. Don't let him get hot.
He's
Too late.
He's kind of developing into the kind of revelation that Keegan Thompson has developed into, right? Like, and the thing about that, or the thing that's different about Wisniewski for me compared to Keegan Thompson is Keegan Thompson was really good in 22, and then last year really fell off. The velo was down. Just didn't feel confident with him. Wisniewski last year was a rookie, and you just I don't know. I guess the expectations were a little too high for a lot of fans. Because coming into the offseason and going to the spring, a lot of people were down on him. No one had a lot of faith. And I think given the role that they're asking him to be in, he's been very good in it so far. He's been really good against righties, and he made a really great defensive play today too on a pitch or on a ball that came back to him. He's, again, what did I say about young players? Taking the opportunity and running with it. And he's playing well enough to keep a spot on the roster, that's for sure. 2 really good innings in a 3-1 game. It's not like he came in down 3 runs or up 7 runs. Came in into a 2-run ball game and pitched really well, right? So I give him all the credit today. He honestly, I mean, as much as I think the Ass Man deserves a win, Wisniewski, he didn't let the Astros get any momentum back. And in a game that I think momentum means so much, he shut them down. I'm not taking him out of the role because he's thriving, just like I'm not taking Nico out of the leadoff spot until I need to. Like right now it's working. I liked Happ at leadoff to start the season, but now that's Nico's spot. And right now this is Wisniewski's spot. Now he may continue pitching well enough that at some point you say, okay, we need help in the rotation. Maybe he gets a shot in the rotation. That's fine too, because I think like Assad, he can give you both of those. But that's a valuable arm. It's a valuable arm, and I said earlier I think I said in the first segment that I thought for some reason I thought Wisniewski came in against Alvarez. He actually didn't come in until Diaz when he came in for Assad. And I know a lot of people. Obviously, I think we were a little nervous in that 9th inning with Neris. And the reason that I think that, like, there were a lot of people that are like, why didn't you just leave Wisniewski in before, like, the game ended? Because he walked those 2 batters, as in Neris did. We have to remember that Wisniewski was not very good against lefties at all last year, so that's my thinking behind it. And when he came into the ball game, again, he faced Diaz, he faced Pena, Singleton, McCormick. Singleton's a lefty. He got him to pop out in that 7th inning. And then he faced Dubon, Altuve, and Bregman. So he faced 1 lefty out of all the batters that he faced. So I think it was definitely a matchup-based thing. Yeah, it's definitely a matchup-based thing. In the 8th inning, Counsell did have Luke Little up warming, and I was like, is this only just in case somehow he gets to Alvarez?
Yeah.
And he didn't because, again, he got Bregman to strike out. But at first I thought maybe Luke Little was going to come in to save the ball game. Instead, it was Neris. He walked those 2 guys. Ended up getting the win, whatever. But, again, using Wisniewski in the right role. Again, last year struggled against lefties. He faced 1 lefty today, managed to get him out. If he continues to get more lefties out, maybe he earns that opportunity to face hitters like Alvarez and Tucker down the line. But, again, for what they asked him to do today, he did really good. He got the bottom of the order out, and he got, after, once he got to the portion where Counsell felt good about it, or, before he wanted to make that change, like, I thought he did well. He's definitely earning more trust. He's entering the circle of trust. And I'm also just really confused about how they're going to manage the bullpen and everything on Saturday, which is something we could probably talk about later, but I thought Wisniewski might make the start on Saturday, but he pitched today. Brown pitched the other day, but it was only 7 pitches, so maybe Brown starts on Saturday. I don't know. I really don't know how they're going to do it with Hendricks out, but whatever. I guess we'll worry about it on Saturday.
We'll get to that in a few minutes. Phil23 in the live YouTube chat says, Mike Talkman, another excellent game. Best fourth outfielder in baseball.
We said that last night.
440
Or maybe we
watching.
said that the other night.
How many? 435?
440.
440.
440. Do
Hit
me
the
a
like
favor.
button.
1, hit the like button.
Please.
2, hit the subscribe button if you haven't before. And 3, head over, at one point, head over to our draft show, which already has the link on. Maybe click the notification button, but get ready because we have a big night ahead of us, but it's awesome. Thanks for rocking with us.
I mean, this is going to, we've said it's going to be one of the biggest 24 hours, 30 hours in Chicago sports history. You had the Bears praying for a free stadium. You had PCA's first career home run. Cubs sweep the Astros, and now 2 Hall of Famers will be drafted tonight by the Bears.
People are saying. Yeah.
People are saying.
And also the White Sox are 3-22, so they're just making history with every
That's still
loss.
history, though. Credit to them.
Yeah. So anyway, again, with how Council used Wesneski today, I was fine with it. Now, Neris, he has me feeling a little nervous against lefties, but I feel nervous with lefties against righties in general anyway. It's a 2-run game, and he's still very young. He has control problems at times. But, man, I would have been so here for Luke Little in the 9th inning against Alvarez and Tucker. I would have been so here for it. I would have been ready to run through a wall if he had got the save. But it worked out. The Cubs won. It's fine.
Cody did his Blue Moon beer bat chug in less than 11 seconds, 10.75 to be exact, earlier in the show. Some beers can say they're brewed for baseball, but only Blue Moon is brewed by baseball. Beer and baseball just go together, and no beer goes better than the one that was literally born in a ballpark. Blue Moon was created at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. It's the natural choice for all season long. Sunny skies at Wrigley today. The weather was just screaming, give me a Blue Moon with an orange slice. Nothing beats watching baseball or lounging by the pool in the summertime with an ice-cold Blue Moon. Blue Moon was brewed by baseball to give you a dose of nostalgia and get you excited for an entire season. A beer this good only comes around once in a blue moon, but you can enjoy it all season long. Bring the ballpark to you with Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale. It's one of a kind every time. Get Blue Moon delivered by visiting get.bluemoonbeer.com/CHGO to see your delivery options. That's get.bluemoonbeer.com/CHGO. Blue Moon, made brighter, celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Are you in the market for a new vehicle? If you are, then we have some great news for you. Our partner, Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Fox Lake, is celebrating the Jeep Celebration event all month long. And you know what that means. You'll be able to rave about their savings on a wide selection of inventory. For a limited time, lease a new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo Altitude for $439 a month for 39 months. And if that Grand Cherokee isn't big enough for you, then check out the third row and lease a new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited L for $479 a month for 39 months. At Ray's CDJR, you're always able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest inventories and drive home with more money in your pocket than you'd expect thanks to Ray's Price Promise. Don't miss out. Shop great deals all month long and save big because Ray's CDJR makes buying a new vehicle more affordable than ever. But that's not all. Just for listening to us, you can get a free oil change when you mention CHGO at the service center or mention CHGO when you book online at raycdjr/service. But you have to schedule it before the end of the month, April 30th. So if you're in the market for a new vehicle, then you got to check out the team at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram because they are the only team that we recommend. Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. For more information, visit Ray CDJR in Fox Lake or raycdjr.com, serving the community since 1963.
Tyler in the chat says, pump the PCA brakes. The guy looked like a lost buffoon in his first 2 at-bats. That's been the norm, not the anomaly like the home run he hit. He's got a lot of figuring out to do. I think majority of us agree with that. Like, we're just giving him props.
The buffoon part, I'm not going to go.
Well, as like he's looked, like we understand that he has struggled. And we said, if you listen to last night's show, we said that it's going to be a limited role, and he's got to take advantage of the opportunities that he's got. And today, against a future Hall of Famer, he did not look good. But I don't know what you expect against a future Hall of Famer. We're just giving him credit. Like, he hit a go-ahead homer. That's it.
He wasn't called up because he was tearing up AAA and forcing his way to the major league level. He's been called up because almost the entire outfield is hurt.
Right. And so I'm letting everyone know that I'm not like changing my stance on what I said about PCA last night. My expectations are still play good defense and try and give good at-bats. And again, the first two, like I said in the first segment, against Verlander were not good, but against the guy who came in and airmailed the first pitch to the backstop, he sat fastball on the second pitch, and he hit it out of the park with the wind blowing in. Like, I'll give credit where credit is due, man.
Tyler says he's not referring to us. He's referring to some people in the chat.
Okay.
All right.
Credit to Tyler for holding people accountable.
Let's all be nice to each other today. The Bears are going to draft 2 Hall of Famers in just a couple hours, and Pete Crow-Armstrong hit his first major league home run, and they swept the Astros.
You're calling them Hall of Famers. I'm calling Caleb Williams football Jesus, whatever. I can't wait to
future Hall of Famers. I got a question for you. Where is Craig Counsell now in your circle of trust?
I mean, it's still the same.
You had faith in him when they signed him. You're like, oh yeah, good guy.
I was on this show and I said that they should call him no matter what, whether he was available or not. I said they should.
But now, Craig Counsell seems to be. You have to, just like last season, when you had to give David Ross credit for
getting them
back in it and over the hump when you thought, well, they might need to sell here.
Right.
And you also had to give him credit for the failure at the end of the season when they were all burned out.
Right.
Now, currently, I believe you have to give Craig Counsell some of the credit for a 16-9 record with a team that is absolutely depleted by injuries.
Oh, yeah.
The players get the most credit because they're the ones out there doing it.
Right.
But the manager has pushed some correct buttons.
Right. Like putting PCA in the lineup today.
Yeah.
Like, again, it wasn't great against Verlander, but he left him in there to face a righty that came in, right? Could have easily pinch hit him for, I don't know, Morel or, someone just based off his first 2 at-bats. It would have been easy to pull him, for, someone like Morel or Wisdom, I don't know. Just, because it was a tie game, 1-1, and guys on base, But, he left him in. But that's not even really, like, to me, what Craig Counsell is doing to help manifest wins is that he's just using guys in the right spots. Like, sure, he's had some bad ones. Like that game against the Padres when the Cubs led 8-0. Every pitcher he brought in, it didn't work. Like Jose Cuas didn't work. Luke Little didn't work that day. ALLCITY gave up the lead in that game, right? Like that's that's easily the one game of the year where you can point at Craig Counsell and be like, this didn't work, man. But at the same time, players giving up homers like they did in that game, whatever. But I would say with all these injuries, like you hinted at, Luke, it's like when the team is losing, everyone wants to blame the manager, and the team is winning, no one wants to give the manager all the credit, right?
Fair enough.
I'm not giving Craig Counsell all the credit. All I'm saying is that he definitely deserves a lot of credit because he's been given a very tough task to try and put a lineup together. Like I saw David Snyder, who is always in the chat, complaining about Happ hitting third today. But it's like, who else are you going to hit third? Like, you going to put Bush up there right now, I guess? Like, I don't know. Like, it's with the injuries right now, who are you batting in the middle of the order? Like they gave Morel an off day today, which he hadn't had one in a while, so fine. At the same time, do I like seeing Madrigal bat 6? No. No
Morel, no Bush, and you're thinking to yourself, how are they going to score runs against Verlander or anybody?
I guess if there was one thing that I didn't like about the lineup outside of, what I just said, it's, Mervis was called up to face righties, and he wasn't in there today. But, again, going up against Verlander, maybe he struggles against whatever, Verlander throws most. I really don't know. I would have liked to see Mervis in there, but it's not like he put any confidence in Craig Counsell to go out there or to put him in the lineup today after the first 2 days.
You know what I think?
It didn't really matter. The bottom of the lineup outside of PCA hitting that homer today didn't do much.
I don't know if this is fact or not why he did it. Didn't play Mervis. First of all, Mervis didn't look great, right?
In the first 2 games.
The first 2 games. But also the wind was blowing in.
Mm-hmm.
You've already won the first 2 games in the series, and you look at Verlander and you maybe say, all right, I'm putting guys in that can hit the high fastball. I'm not saying, now Morel might factor into that too, but he's been struggling. I'm not saying anything else about Madrigal, but he can hit a fastball.
Yeah, and he hit a liner today.
And so maybe you're thinking, listen, we're going to have to chip away this game with the wind blowing in. This is not a game where we're just going to stand back and swing for the fences, which is a little more Mervis' style than obviously Madrigal's style. And it turns out PCA's home run is the difference after they get him out. But they get him out with patient at-bats, lots of foul balls.
Yeah. And Corey
Talkman walking 3 times.
And Corey pointed this out last night, like with this team right now, with the injuries and stuff, like they're going to have to do all the little things better than the other team.
Yes.
Like grinding out at bats. Got Verlander out before the 5th inning, like the end of the 5th inning, right? And despite how good he was, right? And forced them to make a bunch of pitches. Yes. Do they need to hit better? Do they need to have better situational hitting? Absolutely, because Verlander could have been out a lot earlier if they scored in the first. They should have easily at least had 1 run in the first inning to make that a tie game, right? Because they had the bases loaded and no outs, and they didn't, I think it was Happ, Bush, or no. It was Bush, Swanson, Madrigal, and Bush and Swanson struck out. And then, like I was saying, Madrigal, he actually hit, he hit a line drive, but right into a glove in center field. So things just didn't work out in that moment, but also, again, better situational hitting. Though Bush and Swanson got to put the ball in play in those situations, right? So, again, given what's there, though, I can't complain about a lot of the lineups that he's going to put out there given the situation. Again, the only thing I would have liked to see, I guess, is Mervis just because it's a right-handed pitcher, but, he didn't look good the first 2 days, so whatever. Again, when they win, they probably get, managers probably get too much credit. When they lose, they probably get the blame too much too.
Chef Kevin in the live YouTube chat says, hey, compared to last year, right now, 2 wins of improvement over last year's record at the same point. Nice. What I would argue is it's all about perspective on it. You have to look outside of the amount of wins too. Now, it is 2 wins more, but first of all, remember, 2 wins would have put you in the playoffs last year instead of the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
Okay, so it does make a difference. And second of all, last year, although they didn't have Seiya just like they don't right now to start the season, you had Bellinger, right? Mm-hmm. You had Steele. You had Tyone. You had Merriweather. There are a lot of guys. Happ is injured. There's a lot more going on with this team right now, and expectations are higher. So while, yes, and I also believe they're playing a tougher schedule than they did at the beginning of last season too. So 2 games, listen, I'm telling you, I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. If they can get even 500 at the end of May would be a major accomplishment with the amount of injuries they have.
Yeah. But what I think since, especially since Bellinger, and I know it's only been 2 games now?
Yeah.
The pitching stepped up. Assad going almost 6 innings today. Yesterday, the pitching was good. The bullpen was good yesterday. And then the bullpen was good today. I know Neris got in a little bit of trouble with the 2 walks, but he got 2 fielder's choices, 2 ground balls that you needed that they could have tried to get double plays, but they just got the sure out. And then, the ground out to Bush to end the game. Like I said last night, I'm starting to feel a little bit better about the pitching staff, considering that they're starting to find their roles. They're starting to finally get into a groove, and you're getting a little bit more length out of your starting pitching the last handful of games that we've seen.
Speaking of that, Dave LaCroix says you had All-Star Stroman last year in the first half as well. You may have All-Star Imanaga. Mm-hmm. Of those 3 guys, I think we talked about this about 2 weeks ago. Wicks, Imanaga, Assad. I'm not getting ahead of him myself. I'm just saying if you had to win a game, which of those three would you want on the mound right now to start the game?
Probably Imanaga.
Yeah. But I feel good about all three. I really do. I feel good about all three guys. I'd probably go Imanaga, Assad, Wicks.
Yeah.
But Wicks has shown me
Wicks
that changeup.
You know, Wicks finally was able to give you some length the other night for the first time this year. So if you can get more of that, that'd be great. Assad I feel like Assad's been pretty consistent, and that's why you probably have him more above Wicks. But Imanaga's been able to give you 6, and then he has more of a strikeout.
That's the only reason I would go Imanaga over Assad right now.
Yeah.
Is that he's a different type of pitcher. So for one game, I could give a different look, get the strikeout guy, and roll that dice. But, man, Javier Assad.
Yeah.
So a lot of teams would like him.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with how cheap he is. You know how many teams are paying for guys to do
I'd pay him.
Assad's role?
Is it too early to extend him? Is it too early to give him the extension? Cody, before we get Ryan, hopefully he's going to join us from beautiful historic Wrigley Field. Before we get there, tell us about Prize Picks.
Prize Picks.
And then we'll get to who you got. We'll get to Ryan and and more.
Prize Picks. Prize Picks. I have a love-hate relationship with Prize Picks because I can win a lot of money on Prize Picks, but I can also lose some money on Prize Picks. But that's Prize Picks, man. When you win, it's a high that you never feel like you're gonna feel again. But you know that's what it is. That's you set your entry 2 to 6 player stat projections, and hopefully you picked all the right ones, all right?
Hopefully you picked PCA.
Hopefully you put PCA in your Prize Picks entry today, right? It's the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. The easiest and most exciting way to play DFS is just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of others, including pros and sharks, you pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. All right, spring training is over and baseball season is officially underway. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your Prize Picks entries, whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, or first inning runs. Take your pick of more or less and add them to your Prize Picks entry. So like I said last night, perhaps for today, if you could do the Chicago entry, right? You could do, could have done Nico Horner in PCA to get hits today, and then take pitcher strikeouts for whoever's going up against the White Sox, because that's almost a lock these days. And
how about Tauchman and Horner for hits?
Yeah. And they have other ones too. It's not even just hits. Like you can do hits, runs,
total
and RBIs,
bases.
Total bases. Yeah. And again, you can do an all Chicago one. Hell, I'm pretty sure you can do a Prize Picks entry for the NFL draft tonight too. So it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot different than any other types of DFS that's out there. So I've had a lot of fun with it since we've been best friends with them. You too can be best friends with them if you just go to prizepicks.com/CHGO and use code CHGO for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/CHGO and use code CHGO. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy, Luke.
Michael Evans could become our Chris Kampka here. He says since the Padres series, the Cubs bullpen has a 1.93 ERA in 51 1/3 innings.
Oh, Michael pushing a narrative. Credit to Michael. Like
Let the numbers speak.
I do feel like, yes, have they blown some games? Did ALLCITY blow some games? Yes. But I feel like overall, most of the bullpen's been pretty good. Oh, in the last handful of games, for sure, especially on the homestand. I feel like the homestand was great. You just needed to get more. You needed to start getting more length out of your starting pitching. That way, you weren't using so many guys in the bullpen all the time. Beginning of the season, the bullpen, you felt like it was getting taxed pretty early because no one was going deeper. Starting to get a little bit of length out of everyone. Wicks, 6 innings the other night, almost 6 innings for Assad today. Imanaga, 6 innings Saturday night against the Marlins. Right. Hendricks obviously wasn't great on Sunday, but I feel like they're all starting to kind of get on a little bit of a roll, a nice little stretch here. And the Cubs are going to need the pitching to be like this because of the offense not having their best hitters.
I think the pitching is going to have to carry him here for a little stretch.
Yeah.
But I also think the pitching is giving you a lot more confidence. That stat line gives me a little confidence. And then just the way the guys that have had to fill in the starting rotation have. Casey Loft says, Talkman feels like one of those glue guys you need to be successful. Some Ben Zobrist vibes forming. Now that's high praise.
Yeah, I kind of see it.
Friend of the show, Ben Zobrist.
Yeah, friend of the show. Best friend of Ben Zobrist here. I kind of agree in a way. Like, he just goes out there and does his job, and I feel like that's what Ben Zobrist did. And when we had Ben Zobrist on the show, I remember him talking a lot about, just finding a way to do your best, to do your job every day and bring some sort of value to the team every day. And, he gives you very fine defense. No one complains about his defense. He makes all the routine plays. He's even made some really good plays out there, right? And then his at-bats, he just makes pitchers work. I mean, again, Verlander couldn't get him out today. He didn't get a hit off him, but he made him work today. And listen, the middle of the Cubs order is going to have to take advantage when Nico Horner and Mike Tauchman are finding a way to get on base. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, every single time they came to the plate, those first 3 times through the order, they got on base. The middle of the order guys just couldn't get it done. So, Morel will be back in the lineup tomorrow. And, hopefully, I still think that breakout is coming. I think he's had good at-bats this week. He's hit the ball hard. He's taken his walks at the same time, too. I think the breakout for Morel is coming, so he's going to be in the middle of the lineup. Bush, I know, is a tough homestand for him with the strikeouts. He did have a really good batted ball hit out to right today. But whatever, he's got to be a little bit better. But you also can't expect him to have that stretch that he had on the road trip and do that all season too. So I think going up against the Red Sox, who are really have a ton of injuries right now, perhaps he breaks out of a little bit of the mini slump he's in against Boston this weekend. So yeah, the offense, those middle of the order guys that are going to be there, whether it's with Happ, Morel, Bush, Swanson, Those guys gotta be consistent. They gotta be able to drive runners in as often as they can.
All right, I heard the little magic. There he is, Ryan Herrera from beautiful historic Wrigley Field. I was just daydreaming a second ago and came up with a great idea. The sales guys have gone on to the Bears draft party at Joe's on Weed, but as I was thinking about the W flags flying at Wrigley Field everywhere, I thought to myself, wait a minute. We need a CHGO Bears-colored W flag for Williams that we start flying at the Bears games. Just a thought. Big seller. All right, Ryan. He's got
all the great ideas.
Who was the hero? Who was everybody talking about after the game? Was it PCA's electric home run, or was it Javier Assad or Hayden Wisniewski?
I mean, both. Or all three. I mean, sorry, well, not even them. Nico in his game, and obviously talking. There's a bunch of heroes here, or guys that ended up helping will the Cubs to victory. But I mean, yeah, PCA's obviously got the most attention. Just his first hit, first home run, game-winning home run, sweep. It was a big moment, and he said something like that. It's kind of freeing from the feeling of whatever September was, or whatever that was for him, and trying to get back up here, trying to have success. Just a little freeing feeling for him, and as it would be for any young guy. And then Javier Assad, you mentioned him, another big day, and the teams, whether it was David Ross and teammates last year, or Craig Counsell and whoever, Assad's teammates this year, have all talked about how good they believe he is, and you see it. And Mark Leiter Jr. had the quote last year that he thinks Javier's one of the best pitchers in baseball, right? And myself, I will admit, I've kind of waited for the shoe to drop, maybe. Whatever with Assad, but he just continues to go out there and get results, and that's what all these guys talk about, is just how effective he is. Craig Counsell talked about that. Crow-Armstrong talked about how he didn't even get a ball in center field, it was behind Assad, just the way he was being effective with the pitches and getting guys out and, weak contact, whatever it is, he just keeps doing it. So another obviously really, really strong start from Assad. And then Counsell talks about Wisniewski also post-game and talks about how Hayden goes out there, gives him 2 1/3 through the 8th inning, to pass it along and get it to Neris there at the back end. But that is just like another guy stepping up, and they obviously have been dealt a pretty bad hand as far as injuries go. But they've talked about the depth and talked about the guys that they have waiting in the wings to contribute. And I think you keep seeing it when it's guys like Wisniewski coming up and doing what he's done the last couple times out, or PCA hitting the home run tag. They keep doing it, and that's what they talk about. Like, they have the team that can battle through the adversity. And they're 16-9. They've won, I think, 9 of their last 12. Like, you see it on the field when they keep winning games.
Wisniewski, at some point, I don't know if that's the way it ended up, he would retired 19 of the 20 batters he had faced. I believe JD said, or Boog, one of them said it in the broadcast today. What do you see different about him this year as opposed to maybe some of the times when he's struggling? What is he doing better?
I think, and this is something that he's talked about, but like, it's kind of what a lot of guys talk about, just not getting too high or too low type of thing. I think like the confidence is there. Obviously, we know Wisniewski, especially that the sweeper is maybe one of the nastiest pitches that the Cubs have on the roster, right? When he's on, he's right. Things work like that, and I think what's happening right now with him is just obviously the execution's better. They are getting him in spots where a lot of righties in there, which we know he's proven to be most effective against righties. So Counsell is getting him in positions where he can have a better chance for success for sure. But he looks confident out there. He's got conviction behind his pitches. I think that's another thing that he's talked about, is having the conviction and confidence behind whatever he's throwing. I think it's just, going through the struggles last year, kind of figuring out, like, don't be too hard on yourself. Don't overanalyze every little thing. Go into the offseason and work on what you need to work on. And then obviously when you get the opportunity, take advantage, learn lessons from the struggles you went through previously and use that to your advantage. And I think, that's what he's talked about, and you're seeing it because he's going out there improving. He's going out there and proving that struggles were just that. They were just struggles for a guy trying to learn the big league game. And he's proven himself to be really valuable right now.
I was worried that Verlander was going to have 18 strikeouts by the end of the game, but they did a nice job of working some counts. I think if there's any play or at bat in the game that will get overlooked, it's Amaya's 13 at bat, eventually gets an out.
13
pitch at bat that he eventually gets an out, but it's piling up pitches. I mean, obviously, Talkman gets 3 walks, but they did a nice job of being patient when they weren't striking out, if that makes sense. Right? He got his strikeouts because he's a future Hall of Famer, but they were able to get him out of there before he wanted to be out of that game.
Yeah, no, I think you hit that right on. Like, yeah, Maya's at bat stands out just as far as just raising the pitch count exponentially in one at bat. But and then you also think about this is Verlander's, I think, second start of the season, so it's not like he's completely built up. So the more pitches you add to what may be a little bit more of a limited pitch count, obviously, the sooner you get him out of there. So Amaya doing that, Mike Talkman taking his walks, just up and down the order. It's like, again, guys are just seeing pitches, waiting for their pitch. It didn't obviously manifest itself into a bunch of runs today or even a bunch of hits early on. But when you're striking out, right? I think Amaya struck out at the end of that 13 pitch at bat, if I'm not mistaken. I think you even take that as a little bit of a positive, where you're just like, okay, you struck out, but you still made him throw 13 pitches to do it. So, it's just consistent at bats, I think, is what we're seeing from the Cubs. Obviously saw it today, seeing it pretty much every game right now. Is just solid plate approaches, seeing a lot of pitches, seeing more pitches than the average in baseball for sure, and just making pitchers work and making them work to get outs. So, like, even though Verlander got a lot of outs today and a bunch of strikeouts, like, they made him work for it, and obviously it paid off when they were able to get to the bullpen earlier.
Nuggets before they hit the road, or you got a question, Cody?
I don't got anything.
Yeah, any other Nuggets before they hit the road and we go to the biggest draft party in the history of the world?
Yeah, well, I think one thing we've talked about with Nico, I always like to point out how in the chat was like freaking out about Nico after like a week of games. There's like 6 games or whatever, and we all kind of said like, no, like we're not worried about Nico. He'll figure it out. And I think he's hitting. If this is correct, in his last 10 games, he's hitting .413. And a lot of, obviously, that coming out of the leadoff spot. And, Nico talked about it just as far as, like, kind of trusting the process, just continuing to do the things that, even when the results aren't falling, just continuing to do the things that have made him at his best in the past, right? Trusting the process, being consistent with his approach and all that kind of stuff. And you're seeing it with the batting average, the way things have flipped for him the last however many games. But even I think he's walking more than he's ever had right now, and I think he's striking out less than he ever has before right now. Like, it's just consistency all across the board for him. And I know the power-wise hasn't, but that was a big thing for him in the offseason was trying to get more power to his game, and that hasn't necessarily manifested itself. But just everything else has been very consistently good. And we were talking about a guy setting the table at the top of the order. Like, Luke, I'm sorry that you didn't win the who you got today, but it was a good pick because Nico continues to do really
it was
well
a solid pick. It was a solid pick.
He keeps doing that stuff at the top of the order and kind of proving that value for the Cubs right now.
He hit a double today, and again, I don't really care about the home runs with him. I care about extra base hits. If he finds a way to hit 40 doubles this year somehow, some way, 30 to 40 doubles this year, I'll take that.
Yeah, I mean, today's a day in who you got where I felt like we should have had the 3 stars of hockey, right? Like, nobody. PCA is obviously the number 1 star. You can't take a pitcher, so you didn't take Assad. Corey had Nico with a bunch of hits. I had Tauchman with 3 walks and a hit. There were 3 or 4 guys you could have picked. Like we were saying early in the show, there were multiple stars in this game. But it's got to go to PCA. Now,
credit to me.
Cody did show it on Twitter, so I thought all along he had PCA. So when he hit the home run, I said, oh, he just stole that. Then I go back into my Slack, and for whatever, my Slack doesn't update, but I do believe that Cody did rightfully pick Pete Crow-Armstrong.
I did.
So you're supportive of that?
I mean, I'm pretty sure I saw him pick PCA, but yeah.
I did too, but then I went in Slack, and it said he had Madrigal, and I was like, huh?
Well, I did take Madrigal to start, and then I edited it. Yes.
You did edit. I don't know when the edit came, but it wasn't.
Wow.
It was
but
literally
I believe
right
before the
after.
game, he tweeted that he took PCA.
I edited it literally right after I took Madrigal because I was like, oh, no, wait. No one's high on PCA right now. I have to take PCA.
So Cody gets his 6th win of the season and improves to 6-16.
With the potential
Totally
for an
stole it.
asterisk under there.
Very rarely is a 2-run homer going to outweigh somebody with 4 hits or a guy that got on base 4 times. It's not going to happen very often, but first career hit, first career homer, game-winning hit, that'll do it.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
What was the beer bet? What was the beer bet time?
10-7-5, so not a
7-4.
10-7-4, not technically a quality chug,
I think
but still under 12.
Didn't Nico have a stolen base today too?
Nico might have had a stolen base.
No, I think it was on a pitch that Tauchman walked. So obviously didn't count as a steal.
So Tauchman gets
Never
credit
mind.
for that.
Yeah.
All right, are you going to the draft party? Are you in or out on that?
I'll be there. Hopefully, I'm there in time for the number 1 pick, which I've been looking forward to this for a while.
And then when they trade up from 9 to 3 to take Marvin Harrison Jr., that's really going to be crazy, huh?
Oh yeah.
Before we get out of here,
Yes.
general friend Tony Andracki once shared a beer with him at Bernie's. He tweeted almost an hour ago, as we know, Javi Baez was traded for PCA. Baez's first career hit was a game-winning home run in Colorado back in 2014, I believe, and PCA's first career hit, game-winning homer. So funny how things kind of play out.
How about that?
Wanted to give him credit for that. Also, he had another good tweet that said that the Cubs were on a 103 win pace, and only 3 teams have more wins than them. So you can argue that the Cubs should have more wins than anyone right now if they didn't blow those 4 games. But again,
It
4th most
out.
wins.
We'll see how it works out.
With games they
90.
probably should have lost.
Yeah, like last night.
I called 90. It feels better today than it did a couple
103
days ago.
win pace.
103 win pace.
If we win 100 games this year, I'm really going to talk myself into some crazy shit.
Sweep the Astros, beat the Dodgers at home. Seems like they're off to a good start. And now they head to Boston to play the Red Sox.
I'm with you, Godfather. Godfather says Cubs sweep is the biggest story of the day. I agree,
Oh,
Godfather.
wow.
It's the biggest story of the day. Far and
Shoving
away.
Caleb Williams to the
Yeah.
side is Pete Crow-Armstrong.
They're going to draft football Jesus, and then I'm going to go home and watch PCA's game-winning homer in my bed no less than 1,000 times.
Hey, still tickets available for Joe's on Weed Street tomorrow. If you want to get in. You can't get in tonight. You can just look through the windows and see us all celebrating in there. Thanks for checking out the CHGO Cubs podcast. One more super chat real quick.
Chat. Yep.
Series sweep, baby. 100 wins. Cody, Darren Johnson, $9.99.
Did we get them all? We had like 4 of them. Did we get them all?
Did we get them all in? Did we get them all? Joey?
Fernando.
Oh, first homer from PCA. I was there. Credit to me.
Credit to Fernando.
Credit to you.
And we got the other 2.
Play the song.
Shout out to Fernando for being there to witness it. Credit to him. And thanks for the $10, Darren.
Thanks to everybody in the live YouTube chat. Thanks to you for listening. If you're doing it in
Corey
podcast
and Brennan.
form.
Corey and Brennan
on Sunday.
Yeah.
And until then, thanks for watching Fly the W.